Do 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 do. Broke, 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 broke. We broke. We ain't got it. Broke, broke, broke. We broke. Man, oh man, oh man. If you go on YouTube and just put in broke fi broke, you will get so many skits. There's an entire channel dedicated to broke fi broke. Full Metal Alchemist.
We broke, fi broke.
We ain't got it.
Broke, fi broke. We ain't got it.
Ain't got no money, ain't got no clothes, ain't got no car, can't get no. We broke, fi broke. 1, 2, 3, broke, fi broke. We ain't got it, got no money, got no money, got no clothes, got no car.
Get no hoes.
We broke, fi broke. 1, 2, broke, fi broke. All right. There are, shout out to the CIA. What's going on, man? I'm going to play a little music here, let people kind of get into the stream. I'll be back in a few minutes. Moderators, do your thing. There's other streams going on right now, man, but we got to get into a conversation that's going to benefit some men. And until then, your big brother will be back.
Here we go again. This miserable song on repeat. Cause it seems okay how much you are hurting me. Do what's right. You say you will, but then you don't. You just don't. You don't care. Cause you don't take me seriously. What's there to repair? If you don't want to talk to me, you should know the time is up. I'm out. I'm putting you on a life sentence. You no longer feel my presence, so I thought I would let this stay. Thought you knew me so much better. You're on a lifetime sentence, and I never feel my presence. So I thought I would let this stay, but you knew me so much better. So I thought I would let this stay, but you knew me so much better. Yeah. So I thought I would let this stay. No, that's right. The words don't mean a thing to me. Sleepless night, your love has left us incomplete. Thinking that your promises will fit so loud. Oh, that's right. So I'm putting you on a lifetime sentence. You no longer feel my presence. So I thought I would let this be. But you know so much better. You're on a lifetime sentence. And I never feel my presence. So I thought I would let this be. But you know so much better. Cause I don't. So I thought I would let this be. But you know so much better. So I thought I would let this be. see me now, why don't you hear me out? Can't you see what we're about? I see you at my door, wanting in, come back for more. I don't want this anymore. Cause baby, we got issues. Yeah. We're gonna make them dictate my life. So baby, you got issues. Yeah. Don't you take it my me. Honey, I think we lost it. Yes, I'm lying to you that much. So goodbye, my love. Already found someone that you're thinking of. And I lose myself. I can't do someone got the time. Someone has got the time. So you just have to do it now. Here's something you think about. You think good, it's about. You're the one that's missing out. Baby, we got issues.
Baby, we got issues. Don't you think about a win? Get ready to go, guys. Woo. Forget that. City and state. City and state. Where you from? Ooh. Give me the hands. Give me the city and state. Where are you at? City and state. CIA roll call. City and state. All right. Shout out to the CIA. All the men out there who are on the path to becoming confident, intelligent, assertive, the best versions of yourself. What do we got? We got Dallas. Let me make sure we get from the top. Sarasota in the house. Dallas, what's up? Miami, the DMV, Fort Worth. I think that's Indianapolis. I got Greenville. I got Detroit, E-Hall out in Dallas. Tampa representing Melbourne, Australia. What's good? The Bronx, Atlanta, be in your city in 3 weeks. LA, can't wait. I never won being generous. I just got played with. Let me tell you something. Understand something. You're the kind of guy I need to talk to, because what you just said is you never won being generous. I'm gonna talk to you, then I'm gonna take my belt off. Because that's not what we're gonna talk. CIA and FBI roll call. Where you at? Tucson, Nolan, Charlotte, H-Town, Vegas, Cleveland, Jackson, Mississippi, San Juan, Puerto Rico, Houston, Southern Charm in the house. What's up, Roxy? Dallas, Detroit. All right, FBI, where you at? FBI, they don't think you in here. Feminine, beautiful, inspirational women. I know y'all are here. I know y'all are here. So, you know, the Godfather wore his special John Wick just for you. I love my John Wick look. Guys, don't you doubt that FBI women are around here. They sitting up here trying to find you, brothers. They're like, ooh, it's looking good. It's smelling good over here. Oh, these brothers to talk about, you know, building, becoming, you know, providers and, getting their grind together. Don't think that they're not in these spaces. I'm telling you, they are here. Broke fi broke. CIA is not broke fi broke. But we're gonna talk about it. What do we got? Boston, Virginia, Atlanta. All right, so let's get into it. Let's dispense with the initial stuff. Confident, intelligent, assertive men, men of means, men men on the verge of trying to become the best version of themselves. You can't get there with it. You can't get there without being generous. You can't really get there without being generous. Let's define some terms, because especially these days, man, the word simp gets thrown around too much. If you haven't watched my frat brother Alan Roger Curry, he did a video talking about the word simp. And simp is a very simple, definitive term. It's a man. Go look at his video. I don't listen to what 99.999% of guys out there saying the word simp is, because you don't seem to get it. So let's understand something right now. Generosity is a key to success, true success. I don't mean making six figures. I don't mean having a nice house. I don't mean being, having, your resources squirreled away for hibernation. That's not success. Success is a full life, and a full life entails people. Okay. I've heard these questions thrown around, and you like it or not, executive management, you are not going to see many guys in executive management who are single. This has nothing to do with marriage. What I'm going to talk about is a general man and his approach to life. His approach to life. And let me tell you, the average guy has a scarcity mentality. The average guy lives a fear-based life. The average guy is broke, stingy, and cheap. Let's just get it real. The average guy is broke, stingy, and cheap. And if you fall into one of those categories, that's not an insult. It's just saying you're the average guy. In this country, 73% of all dollars are spent by women, and whether you like it or not, this is a capitalist society. Women spend money for their interests. Appreciate it. Appreciate the super chat, Nikes 444. It's time to get to work, man, because there is no way you're going to get the best out of life being ingenerous. So for anybody who wants to come in and I don't want to be giving up my resources and all that, hey man, that ain't this channel. It ain't. MGTOW legend. Depends on what you consider average. Look here, man. I just remember where you are, fam. All you guys, I need you guys to remember where you are. Not saying you can say what you want about some things, but I am talking about generosity over here and why generous men win. If that bothers you, if the whole notion of generosity is something that is anathema to you, wrong broadcast. Because the average person is selfish, cheap, self-concerned, suspicious, and really doesn't have any friends. I mean, I've done a broadcast. Let's go through the video catalog. I'm not doing these on accident, right? So if you go through my recent video catalog on my live streams, I talked about why you have 0 friends that don't fit in. And the three takeaways from that are simply this. Guys who have 0 friends and don't fit in, the 3 major takeaways are: 1, in order to have friends, you have to be a friend. Then you have to not be suspicious. You have to not think everybody's trying to get over on you. You have to not be selfish. You got to actually think about doing stuff for other people, being altruistic. And then you have to be generous. Look around. If you didn't see that broadcast, it was 5 days ago. Then we talked about winners, and talking about winners and how they live life with excellence, consistency, persistence, and a whole host of other things. Then we talked about who's really out here dating. And I said, I see older women with younger men. I mean, older men with younger women. That's what I see. No matter where I go, that's what I see. And then I asked, are you ready? Are you ready for life? Are you ready to stop playing because life ain't playing with you? If you've missed any of those broadcasts, I encourage you to go back and look at them, because I'm going on to the next part. And there is a very selfish reason why you should be extremely generous, okay? There's a very selfish reason why a guy should be extremely generous. Yeah, it's in your best interest to be generous. Let me see what's going on. I'm sorry, get my stuff set up over here. Friends are overrated. All right, let me go ahead and get you up out of here. Bye. Friends are overrated. Look here, man. Oh my God. Friends are overrated, says the nameless, faceless troll. Friends are overrated for guys who have none. See, you rarely see, it's the same thing when you hear money's the root of all evil and money's overrated. You never hear wealthy people say that. Here you go. Boop. Bye. I don't want to hear it. See, what we're not going to do over here is do that bull crap. A life of generosity. Let me go ahead and just drop this let me go ahead and drop this article. Let me go ahead and read it. This is from entrepreneur.com. The magazine for entrepreneurs, for that thing for so many guys say they are. Guys, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Minimum thing you can do is hit the like button. See, the first thing a generous person does is they actually look to give, not come and take. But see, Entrepreneur Magazine, I wanted their take on it, because so many guys that I hear talking about being broke, stingy, and cheap as far as their mindset, a lot of guys claim to be entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are out here hustling, grinding, and building. And I think it's kind of ironic that Entrepreneur Magazine has one of the best articles on the subject. The selfish reason you should be extremely generous. I won't belabor you with the study, with the background story, but I'll just get to the meat of it. Indeed, a life of generosity has many scientifically supported benefits. Here are a few especially interesting examples of how generous people lead better lives. Okay, so we should already be in the right spot, because it's show your work, it's prove it, right? You can't just tell me nothing. You gotta be able to show it to me. Generous acts trigger the reward center in your brain. giving you a high that kind of mimics like sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Thank you, Dalawasha. Yeah, generous acts trigger the reward center of your brain. So human beings, why would you ask yourself this question? Why would generous act trip your reward center if it was a negative thing? Because we're social people, we're social creatures. And honestly, to be ingenerous, you're acting contrary to your actual programming. Being generous, oh, here's one. Being generous to your spouse or significant other is one of the top 3 predictors of a successful marriage or relationship. So let's ask yourself the question. Look back at your relationships to the guy who said I was generous and it hurt me. Being generous to your spouse is one of the top 3 predictors of a successful marriage or relationship. Were you generous and was she generous? Oh, ladies, if you thought I was just going to talk about the men, no, women need to be generous too. I've talked about that often. The women I deal with, they spend money on me and I spend money on them. Oh yeah. I don't deal with women who aren't generous. I don't deal with women who think what's yours is mine and what's mine is mine. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. I don't deal with women who think that way. Now, the outcomes and the results, I don't care about that. But I said before and I said again, as men, we're responsible for the women we pick. If you pick somebody and you were generous to them, and what did you say? What did he say? I don't want to misquote you, but you said you were generous so Lolly Stu says, I never won being generous. I just got played. Let me go ahead and address this. I said this the other day on the broadcast. Most of the times most of the time people are generous is because you're not being honest. You're trying to hustle somebody. I talked about how when I was in my 20s, when I used to try to mold to my way, not be direct, not say what I want. I would give, then expect something from a woman. And then when I didn't get it, I would get upset and go off. No, that ain't her fault. It was my fault. So it wasn't the giving that was the problem. It was what I was doing. See, generosity doesn't imply being a fool. Generosity does not imply being gullible and naive. And if that's what you associate generosity with, it's why you're gonna lose. Generosity makes you happier. In one study, people who help coworkers or others were more satisfied with their lives and were more satisfied with their lives almost 30 years later. Guys, do yourself a favor. Google it yourself. Go look at the research. Go look at the works and just go look and see the correlation between generosity and success, generosity and happiness, generosity and better overall quality of life. Then go look at the correlation between selfishness, miserly behavior, correlation with death, depression, anxiety. There's no 2 ways about it. Generosity is good for you and good for other people. When we experience events like illness, crime, unemployment, helping others buffers us from stress, which makes us less likely to die in the years that follow. Let me say it again. When we experience events like illness, crime, unemployment, helping others buffers us from stress, which makes us less likely to die in the years that follow. Yes, you read that right. Generosity lowers stress. It has a direct health benefit. Think about how many people you know who are broke, stingy, or cheap, who are ingenerous. Are those people happy? Do they always seem to be worried all the time? What comes out of their mouth is always suspicious and negative. Why? You think those people are living a happy life? No. I damn sure wouldn't want to switch places with the people I'm thinking of. Hey, Kane, let me respond to this question. Hey, Kane. Kane said, Kevin, why do you bicker with every the comments? Kane, this is my show, and I don't do anything without purpose. Why are you asking? But let me ask you this, Kane. Are you a patron of the channel? If so, how long have you been? And put in your full name so I can look it up. So, why are we so stingy? Why are we so stingy? You ever ask yourself that question? Why are we so stingy? Anybody got any ideas? Why are we so stingy? Why are people so stingy? Why are we so stingy? Why are you so stingy? Look at yourself.
We broke, five broke. We ain't got it. Broke, five broke. We ain't got it. We broke.
Marcus Love says, I'm honest. I give expecting something like a stock investment. Okay. Thank you for being honest. And you're not giving. You're lying. It's not like an investment. That's a nice way of saying you're a taker. And I was the same way. I worded it nicely, but when you give with the expectation of getting back, that's not really giving. That's not being generous. And that's why so many people, so many guys in particular, end up living so frustrated. But let me get into it. Why are we so stingy? Despite generosity's huge payoffs, we can be surprisingly stingy. The vast majority of Americans, 76%, do not volunteer at all. That's why I said the average guy. That's why I said the average guy. 76% don't volunteer at all. Only 10% donate blood. Only 30% report, and 30% report not helping their friends or neighbors. Think about what I just said. Well, you want somebody to help you. You would want someone to help you in your time of need, but you don't help. 76% don't donate. 10%, only 10% give blood, and 30% people report it, say they don't help friends or neighbors. When was the last time you helped some? When was the last time? So here's a question. Here's a question. When was the last time you could have helped somebody, but you didn't? When? I've asked this question in various different ways. When was the last time you could have helped somebody, but you didn't? And they give an example like, perhaps you rushed past the person begging for money on the street, or a coworker sought your help, but you politely declined because you had too much going on. Maybe a stranger asked you for a favor, but you refused. We invent so many reasons to justify our own selfishness and cynicism. But when you weigh them against the benefits of generosity, generosity always wins. Here's a question. Ask yourself, how did you get here? How did you get to be the person you are? There was a time when you were, honestly, for healthy people, for the normal people, people who aren't born with some sort of psychopathy. This is why we always look at children. There was a time when you would actually help others, even if you didn't have to. And they give the example of, God gives an example. When I worked at Starbucks in college, we had our fair share of customers who wanted to yell because they were having a bad day. One of my favorite things to do was hand them their coffee, flash a huge smile and say, this one's on me. They often look shocked, but they'd apologize for making their day better. And of course, I felt fantastic. Honestly, guys, you don't want to admit it, but you know that you want to be a better person. How did you get here? What happened? And whatever happened, you know you want to be a better person. The reality is we live in a tough world. Demands are placed upon us that can feel all consuming. It can be too easy to deny help when it's difficult or when we don't have to. But the research is clear. We don't see benefits, and we don't see benefits unless we make generosity a lifelong habit. All right, guys, look at. Let's get to the brass tacks of it. Generous men live better lives. Generous men have hotter women and better sex. You can talk all you want to, but generous men have better lives, have hotter women, and have better sex. Generous men are better overall people. Simple as that. There's no two fucking ways about it. Generous people like to be around generous people. That's it. No one wants to be around somebody who's broke, stingy, or cheap. People don't like to be around miserly guys. I've written a post I'm going to put up on Patreon, talk about the 10 qualities of a modern gentleman, but the top quality is generosity. A gentleman is always generous with his time, wisdom, resources. He looks for a way to help others. He's a servant leader. And his commitment to interpersonal kindness creates a positive workplace environment, boosts his commitment, engagement, and performance. Yes, a first thing in a life of a gentleman is he has to be generous. So if you're not generous, look here, man. We've almost tried to make it to where it's a badge of honor to be lone wolves and shrewd and cynical and, all these different pills and everything else. But one thing I would say is when I'm out and about living life, I don't see people acting like that. And I would tell you one thing, I started to go live last night. When I was out at a restaurant opening last night, the place was packed. I'm seeing far and far fewer millennial men go anywhere or do anything. Let me just be real. I am seeing far fewer millennial age men go anywhere or do anything. We got to talk about this because this is where it's going to get a little tight. When I hear all these guys talking about protecting their resources and protecting this, protecting that, 50% of the country makes less than $50,000. You don't have that many resources to protect. I know your money's valuable to you, but guys, why? If you really want to be successful, you got to study success. Successful men have similar habits. They're early risers. They're hard workers. They have mentors and coaches. They do self-improvement, and they're civic minded. They have some sort of generosity. So if that's what successful people do, and if you're in the middle and you want to get to the successful part, you think you found another way? It's arrogance to think, well, I'm gonna do it, but I'm not gonna do it that way. No. Well, name me a successful society I don't want to get into the discussion about, I don't want to get into the discussion of marriage. I don't. But I would talk about broke, stingy, and cheap, why generous men win. Generous men, people love to. Generous men are magnets for power. These are the guys that get it. Where do you get invited to? Let me ask you this. Where do you get invited to? Who picks up the phone or sends you an email and invites you to a local opening, a local gala, a local anything? If no one picks up the phone and invites you anywhere, that's a big sign. Ingenuous people don't have friends. They don't get invited anywhere. Nobody wants to be around them. So what's the benefit to you? Well, ain't nobody gonna get over on me and take my resources. I hate to break it to most of you guys, but the little bit you got, the little bit you call resources could be so much more magnified if you actually are plugged into a true network of people. So you think you're getting over on the game by not getting hustled, but what you're not doing is you're not around people who can actually benefit, move and shake and actually buy your product or service, put you in contact with people who can sign contracts with you that are 6 figures or better. You're just doing it 1 and 2 at a time because fear, scarcity. That's really what it is. This whole thing about securing the bag. Hey man, I like it. Let me tell you why I like it. I want you to become the bag. That's right. I want you to become the bag. Bold, ambitious, and generous. At the end of the day, if you become a man who's bold, ambitious, and generous, you will never, ever have to want for feminine, beautiful, inspirational, young, submissive, hot women to want to share your time. That's the reality of it. If you become that man, you will never ever want for those kind of women. You'll never want for friends. You get to determine how much time of it how much of your time you want to dedicate towards it. If you're in your 20s, I say dedicate less than 10% of your time towards sex and all that other kind of stuff. But after 30, man, you need to start building a network. You need to have a network of people because, man, you are one person. You need to be able to scale your efforts. I mean, a man who's bold, ambitious, and generous draws people to him, draws opportunities to him, draws friends, draws men, draws women. So if that's the case, if you're not that, you repel that stuff. Where do you really want to be? Don't answer the question in the comment section. Where do you want to be? Let me deal with this dude right here, man. Kane, you don't need it. Join at whatever level you want to, man. See, let me address the point. So we got a guy in the chat room who asked the question of why I deal with, simps, comments, and all that kind of stuff. Then you're asking, do I need to join at the $5 level or $20 level to access all your videos on Patreon? The information is on Patreon. Join whatever level you want to get whatever you want. But then it comes up to this. I ask, there's a nuance point. Some people will never don't get this stuff. But I realize you're trying to beat it over the head until they get it. Look, man, there's no nuance to this. There's no nuance to this. Here's the nuance. Guys that move like you move are moving just like Marcus Love admitted. You don't want to put something out without getting it back. You want to know. You want guarantees in life. There are no guarantees in life. Well, here are some guarantees in life. Guys like ingenuous guys don't get very far. It's amazing to me that you want more from the world than you're willing to give to it. Especially for you guys who are planning on being entrepreneurs, your own business owner. You expect the world to give you more back, give you back what you're not willing to give. You expect guarantees. Well, I'm not going to spend $1 unless I can guarantee that I'm going to get my money back, or unless I get a guarantee. I'm not going to holler at a woman unless I'm guaranteed this outcome over here. Man, that is not how life works. You sound like a child. And here's the thing: nobody wants to fuck with dudes like that. Nobody wants to spend time dealing with dudes like that because there's no way to, because grown goddamn men realize that that's not how the world works. All you can get is an opportunity. All you get is a shot. So for $5, $10, $20, you probably never gonna get everything you want. Pick what level you want, or don't pick a level. But here's the thing: the information there is damn sure worth more than your $5 or your $10 or your $20 can give back. But you focus on the $5 or the $10 or the $20. It's broke, stingy, cheap thinking. There are almost 750 videos over there. But this is how, and this is why I respond to those questions, because I use them as a teaching tool, not to embarrass anybody, but to use it as a teaching tool. Because think about all the things men say they want. Can you imagine feminine, beautiful, inspirational, submissive women looking at guys that move like that? Do I want to be around a guy like that? Or do I want to be around a guy that's generous with his time, his wisdom, his resources, and all that other kind of stuff? Just because you're generous with it doesn't mean you give it away to everybody. This is some of the stuff we're going to learn when we're down in Atlanta. We're going to learn how to move in public to draw people to you. When I'm teaching guys in MIT, Atlanta, in the field, we're going to show the difference between having shit and then having shit work for you. Using the force, Luke, because so many guys think just by virtue of having shit that you're supposed to have the world come to you. Nope. Got to use it to draw stuff to you. Because at the end of the day, a man who is this whole provider, protector, prophet, priest, man, this generosity factor, you cannot downplay it. I asked the question, especially to guys right there in the middle, white collar men who consider themselves to be good guys, solid dudes, good everyday guys. When was the last time you bought a round of drinks? When was the last time you picked up the phone and said, hey man, tonight, Buffalo Wild Wings on me. Hey man, tonight, we're going over here on me. When was the last time you did that? And in reality, most have never done it. And I'm gonna tell you why most have never done it. Thank you for Neck of the Woods Updated. Tell you why most have never done it. Because far too many of us were raised by our mothers or with too much feminine energy or ideals. It is not women's nature to be this way. We were raised with a negative relationship with money because we didn't have enough or whatever. If you think about the way you handle resources and money and think about it, more of it is not. And here's the thing. Oftentimes guys try to say, I use it strategically. That word gets overused. Strategic and stingy are synonymous. It's bullshit. You can't be strategic. I don't want to go there. Look around your house and where do you live? What do you drive? Where do you eat? Who are your friends? What's your network? Then you tell me how strategically you're living life. And are you in line with where you want to be? That's the next thing. Where are you in life and where do you want to be? See, if you just want to get by, if you're a peanut butter jelly sandwich, bologna sandwich, ramen noodle, hot dog, hamburger helper dude, if you're a ramen noodles, Netflix and beer, Pizza Hut, if that's the dude you are, man, hey, more power to you. But you're probably not going to be on this channel because it's not going to be comfortable to be over here with guys who are out here talking about working 60 hours as the bare minimum. And you need to be making $1,500 for every year you're on the planet. So at 20 years old, you need to be making $30,000. At 30 years old, you need to be making $45,000 minimum. At 40 years old, you need to be making $60,000 minimum. At 50, you need to be making $75,000 minimum. Minimum. This is not going to be a comfortable place because over here, we're pushing to get better. Generosity. You ever wonder why you get around, how many people in the chat room have been around rich people or wealthy people? Rich people or wealthy people? I talk about the chamber meetings. How many people have been to that neighborhood in your city? Eric Hall says, guys, it's okay not to know these things to be operating this way, but it's value information. Yeah, it's okay to know this thing. It's okay. How many people have been around rich people? Rich people move differently. The American Heart Association, Lung Association, can't. How many people get around these associations? Charity, balls. You want to see what I'm talking about? Go to your local American Heart Association, and they have the Walk for Life. They have the 5K runs, but every year they have the Red Ball. They have the Women's Circle of Success. All these things in your city, go there. Go to where they have the silent auctions. I give away something every year in my local Heart Ball. Yep, I give away my services. Boop, it's in a little basket. Anybody ever been to if you've been to a silent auction in the chat room, if you're a guy who's been to a silent auction, put a 1 in the chat room. If you're a guy and you've been to a silent auction, put a 1 in the chat room. Because I'm gonna tell you something. The men at places like these are the caliber of men you want to know, to have in your network, your Rolodex. And the women who come to these places are damn sure women you want to know. This is where you go to hand your business card out. This is where you go to hand their business card out, not the mall. You go to these kind of places. So for the people who've been to these kind of places, you can see how differently folks move. Why are rich people or people, why, have you ever asked yourself a question? Why do people give money to charity? Why don't they just keep it? Other than the tax write-off, why? Why do men give money to charity? Why not just keep it? I said other than a tax write-off. It's not just the tax write-off. There you go, Dark Man Jeff. Whether you believe it or not, I don't care what you want to call it, there is something to be done with that karma. Paying it forward. When you are viewed as a generous guy, people, like I said, people want to be around you. They want to be around you. Where do the most beautiful women in your city go? Where do the most beautiful women in your city go to be around men? Do you know? All right, guys, let's see how many people we got. We got 268 people watching. We got 144 likes and 8 dislikes. 8 broke, stingy, or cheap people. 8 ingenuous people. Hit the like button, guys. No. What's going on, Roxy? If I want your schedule. Uh-oh. Let me tell you something, man. I only deal with What's going on, Roxy? Oh yeah, you were on the other stream. See, what I want to do is I want to start bringing some. Look, man. I'm just getting serious. I'm gonna get real. Feminine, beautiful women cost. You want a feminine, beautiful woman who's cooperative? You're gonna have to be the bag. You're gonna have to be the provider. You want that woman in your life for what she brings to your life, the inspiration she can bring, Yes, and it's a different level of inspiration. You want for all the things she can bring to your life. And if you're like, well, what do they bring to my life, dude? Go to this. That ain't this class. That ain't this is grad school over here. This is not 101. This is grad school over here. This is at least June. This is at least you're not in your freshman. You're not in your sophomore. You're in your major now. Okay. CIA is a major. Feminine, beautiful, inspirational women, submissive women cost. Women that go to the gym and are in there 3-5 days a week cost. Them little black dresses cost. The skincare to keep her skin looking nice cost. Those manicures and pedicures cost. Those red bottoms cost. You goddamn right. And I gladly pay this shit. I love to pay it. I love it. I love it. I love, buying me a bottle of Chanel and getting one of my lady friends a bottle of Chanel too. I love it. I love getting myself a nice pair of frames and get one of my lady friends, a nice pair of glasses. Love this shit. Love it. Love it. Because I get the benefit that it's difficult to quantify, but I tell you, I get the benefit of feeling good. Number one. Number two, she's on my arm. When we're out and about, she's on my arm making me look good. When we walk by, she's smelling good, looking good, and other dudes in there like, damn, that's a bad bitch. Other dudes are like, all right, I see you. And the women are like, okay, girl, yeah, man, I like that. And you guess what? It all flows back to you. And then when you go in there and you smile and you talk to people, you're not some pretentious prick. You're not some fucked up asshole that nobody wants to deal with. Hey, how you doing? Tom, Bob, Hassan, Daryl, what's up, dude? Tyrone, what's good? All right, man. Man, ladies, y'all go over here. Guys, let's go over here. First round's on me. Let me say that again. Ladies, y'all go over here. Guys, let's go. First round's on me. Scotch or bourbon? Scotch or bourbon? Okay, you bourbon? Hey, man, let me turn you on to scotch. Macallan 18. Neat for everybody. You don't drink straight? Come on, man. You got to. All right, do it this way. Macallan 18, neat. Give him a water back. Where my G's at? Where my G's at? My G's? Where my G's at? My G's understand exactly what I just laid down. And for my guys who don't understand it, trust me, you want to do some shit like this. Because when your chick is over here, those other women are like, girl, how'd you get him? What's going on? Blah, blah. Her hair is just going soup, 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 soup. And you smell good. And girl, oh, I got to get me one of them. Soup, soup, soup. Then you over there with the dudes. You over there with your boys. Y'all networking, talking. You buy the first round. You drinking good. It costs you $100. $100. And you get back thousands of dollars in goodwill. $100 costs you get you hundreds of dollars. I mean, get you thousands of dollars because you buy the first round. If somebody decides to buy the next round, but what happens from that interaction pays lifelong dividends. Then when you leave with your woman, you think she's gonna be in a bad mood when she leaves? You think she's gonna feel some kind of way when she leaves, or you think she's gonna be like, all right, I went out here and I did this stuff. Okay. What you think's gonna happen? Ladies, tell me what's gonna happen. Ladies, tell me what happens if your man takes you to some any spot, a restaurant opening, networking, whatever. Pick a spot. When your man takes you somewhere, you can wear that little black dress. You can wear those pearls. You can wear those red bottoms, those power heels. You can wear your nice Chanel perfume. When you go out and deal with other women on your level, when you go out and stop the room, tell me what happens when you go out and do that and your man is over there looking good, doing his thing with other guys, and the guys are laughing, shaking hands, having a good time, and the women are doing what they're doing. Tell me what happens when you leave with that man being yours. Ladies, tell me what happened. Tony says she feel proud. That's right. That women feel proud to have a man like that. Women want a man like that they admire, that a guy who can come in and not be like, man, shit, how much money you got? Shit, happy hour. The drinks are 2 for $1. All right, good. Well, shit, the drinks are 2 for $1. We eat some of these chips and shit. We got to get full. You think you'll develop a reputation with your woman, your woman's friends, the people around you? What will your reputation be? Or the guy that comes in there by himself? The guy that comes in this event by himself. And everybody's doing what they're doing. He comes in the event by himself, gives the beer and nurses it. Got his business card, and at every chance, he's just handing his business card out, trying to solicit people. Not trying to talk to anybody. Not trying to enrich anybody. Not trying to have an actual interaction. You're just trying to take. Two different guys. She said it wouldn't be ladylike to discuss the rewards. That's right. It is far easier to get the kind of woman you want. Let me put it over here. It was far easier for me to get the kind of woman, the woman I want, the cooperation, all the other kind of stuff, when I know what value I brought to the situation. You get to pick. And generosity is a value. I mean, let me remind you, start worrying about being called a simp by guys who are not doing better than you. What kind of life do you want? What kind of woman do you want? What are you prepared to do to get it? How do you want your woman to speak about you in public or in private? What's the value of being with you? Develop a reputation, make her want to be down. Give her a reason to choose. And whatever your program is, put the benefits package out there and deliver. You know good and damn well, for as much hard work and you put into yourself, you want to work wherever city you in, you want to work for the best company with the best package possible. You want to make the most money, get the best package, get the best benefits possible. And you know when you got that, what kind of employee are you? This is a gentleman, man. I mean, being a gentleman is a choice. Let me go ahead and get to this. Generous men. The 10 qualities of you're generous, you're positive, you're a lifelong learner, you're civil, you're well-mannered, you're a hard worker, you have a sharp image or appearance, you're an effective communicator, confident, and have integrity. Now, you name me a woman who would not want to be associated with a man like this. Let's take it this way. Name me a woman who wouldn't want to be associated with a man like this, even if he wasn't her man. Name me men that would not want to be associated with guys like this and call them friend, and have that man call them friend. Who would not want to be involved or associated with a guy like that? I'm gonna tell you right now. I've said it before and I said it again. Don't worry about anybody calling you simp, man. When I put that romantic dinner up there and those flowers, see, Look here. I love doing shit like that. The 3 base archetypes: pretty boy, bad boy, roughneck, or refined, rakish, and rogue. I've always been on the refined side. I've always liked that fly shit. I've always liked that valet parking, you know, the stuff that we would call bougie. Love it because I love the life that comes with it. I love the women that like that kind of stuff. And here's the thing, even my buddies who are rakish or roguish, they appreciate it. Even my friends who are bad boys or roughnecks appreciated it. We just came up in there a different way. When was the last time you actually, you want women to be a certain kind of way, man? Like it or not, we live in a world where women have choice. Why does she want to choose? What is the problem with going to buy your woman a bottle of perfume? If you did your job, you vetted her, you told her the truth, you gave full disclosure and told her what you wanted. And she said, yes, I want to be on Team Cashmere. I want to be on Team Darkman Jeff. I want to be down. If she wants to be down, then guess what? That needs to come with significant benefit. Because if she's worth something, let me get this anyway. If she's worth a damn, you don't think that there are going to be guys shit coming at her? If she's worth something, you better believe there are going to be other alpha males, other aggressive men, other competitive men coming at her. Is Tony still in here? If you don't think having a woman like Tony on your arm is a benefit to you in any room you're in, and you don't think that other men are intelligent enough to see that woman and see the benefit she is to you, you're a fool. Now, I'm a gentleman. I have integrity. I've never been one to go holler at a man's wife. I just don't do that. But I know the caliber of woman that I deal with. I expect men to take their shot. I expect when I go to the bathroom, somebody's going to be there when I get back. Brandon says, hey, Kevin, what do you think of being on the dating scene for the rest of a man's life? I don't think it's for everybody. I don't think men really want to be on the dating scene until they die. That's just not how we're made. Honestly, the dating scene is a means to an end. What is your end goal? Do you want a one-on-one relationship with a woman where you have your understanding, whether it's marriage or whatever? What is it Brandon, I've already kind of outlined it on another video. You got to know what you want. See, the problem so many guys have is you step to a woman not knowing what you want, what you're prepared to do to get it, and what the benefit is for her. Know what you want and let her decide. This is why, especially on this side of YouTube, we end up having a lot of conversations about the ism. The P, a woman knows. I had a lot of P training when I came up. I also had a lot of the deacon training. Knowing what you want, man. I firmly believe that, nope, you got to decide. You got to decide whether or not you want to go out like Hugh Hefner or whether you want to have a woman. That's all a decision. But let me tell you something. I don't buy this bullshit that when you choose up and couple up, you're a simp. That's some bullshit. Anyway, not over here. That's not what we do. saying, I mean, I've heard people say when the guy decides to get married, he's the ultimate simp because you hung up the hunt and put all your resources into one. Name me one society, or name. Do I want to get into the conversation? No, I don't. I'm gonna avoid that conversation. Personally, right now, I'm still dating multiple people, but I will tell you this, I foresee a time when I actually kind of slow it back down and have somebody that I'm just seeing one-to-one. I foresee that happening. Honestly, let's just play it forward. 3 years from now, and your godfather is a millionaire, a multi-millionaire with a thriving business. Don't be surprised if I decide to say, you know what? Psst. Don't be surprised if you look up, hey, what? And I'm doing the Coach Red pill. Like, what? He got a beautiful young wife and she's pregnant with their first son? If I'm secure for the rest of my life and my progeny is secure for the rest of their lives, what else is life? Yeah, I would certainly love to be like, yep, 55 years old, 24-year-old wife. This caused a little bit, a bit of a stir when I said I don't date women my age. I don't. And it's not because, well, it's for very practical reasons. My generation, you can see it play out on YouTube. We were raised differently. And for what I want in my life and the kind of women I want to be involved with, I personally need to be with the woman that she can learn a lot from me. I think it tends to be better for men to be older than the women. So what does that put women in my generation? Well, that says put women in my generation need to date men older than us. And in general. Here's the thing. Appreciate it. Here's ultimately what it comes down to. There is never sound reasoning for a man to not be generous. Generosity for generosity's sake. Human beings are not Vulcans. That's why I say, and I mean this with no disrespect to anybody's channel or platform, but when I came to YouTube, I came as an image consultant with a men's style and fragrance channel to market my business and to make videos and to get hundreds of thousands of millions of subscribers. I found this kind of area over here and it helped me teach. But everything runs its course. I know there are plenty, I get the emails. There are plenty of you guys out there who are wanting to graduate, take it to the next level. I know some of you guys out there want families. You want one-on-one relationship with women and families. Hey man, whatever it is you want, it's possible. Why do I say that? Well, you can look on YouTube and find people that are doing it. You may just have to move around to do it, but you got to know what it is you want. And be in the bag is something that, let me give you the levels. CIA, competitive, intelligent, assertive. 80% of guys, I think probably about 80% of guys, that'll be the apex of the peak of their life. It's go time. All right, Ehon. I think 80% of guys will be there. Then the next level, competitive, intriguing, and aggressive. That's for the guys who decide they want to be in the top 20%. Entrepreneurs, executives, you know, movers and shakers. Those are the bosses. I mean, those are the guys, those are the executives. But then you got the bosses, that 10%, that top 10%, top 5%, that's the bag. Bold, ambitious, and generous. Man, you're seeing the people, if you become the bag, you have the most options. It really comes down to that. How many options do you want as a man? If you want as many options as you can possibly have, and you want to be able to pick, I think you can make a better decision with the more options you have. And especially if you know what you want, it's easier to get what you want out of life. Generosity gives you lots of options. If you're interested in going, since I got people on here, if you're interested, ladies, if you're interested in, I'm thinking about doing a meet and greet. If you're a woman in the Atlanta area, you're FBI, feminine, beautiful, inspirational, you cool, that kind of stuff, hit me up, send me an email, let me know, hey, I'm interested in meeting you or meeting some of the guys. Send me an email. There you go. Of course, I will need to know who you are. I'm not just gonna have, craziness up there. If you're a guy and you live in the greater Atlanta area, man, if you're living in Atlanta and you're not gonna be at MIT, the field trip, oh my goodness, it's gonna be dope. There's a few tickets still available. You must be a Patreon. Hit me up here at info@bykevinrsamuels.com. I cannot wait to go. I cannot wait to go. Here's what I try to give everybody. I try to give everybody hope. I'm gonna tell you, my mother, she got married at 54 years old. And she married the most unlikely man I've ever met, but they are still married and happy to this day. You can have whatever you want in life. What are you prepared to do to get it? I'm going to tell you this. Some keys to life. I keep a smile on my face. When I see people, I keep a generous nature in my heart. I do. I simply do. It's second nature to me to open the door, to help. I've said it. I've always been this way. When something happens, I go towards it. And it's paid me dividends. Here's the thing. Let me talk to the guys who may be struggling with this concept and message. Listen to me. I know life or situations may have screwed you up. I get it. But you have a choice. Let me read something. You have a choice. And it is never too late to choose. It is never too late to choose to get a better outcome. One of the first things I suggest for men to do to get their head on straight is to understand your situation with your father. Understand your situation with your father. Understand the situation with the men in your life. I'm not going to read this brother's name, but I'm doing the Summer of Success. And I'm actually working with a young brother. This young brother is full of potential. I'm not going to say your name, brother. He is full of potential. Star athlete, great student. My job is to read men, to read people. And I use my powers for good and not evil. This young brother reached out to me, and I could tell just by the way he was reaching out that there was something going on with him. Something going on with him. So when we talked in our first session, I'm a coach, and the coach is going to get the best out of you. And it didn't go the way I'm guessing he probably thought it was going to go, but I challenged him. I challenged him. I said, I want you to connect with your father. I don't understand. I know there are so many guys on the other side of this camera who you don't know your father's side of the story. You don't know. You were like me. You didn't know him. You had to fill in the blanks. You didn't know him. but he's still here. He's still here. And my challenge was to God to just connect with him. Just hear his side of the story unfiltered and let it be whatever it is. Whatever comes out of it, if you guys never speak again, at least you got that done. If you guys have some semblance of relationship, but I'm going to tell you what tends to happen. What tends to happen is a life-changing moment. The woman I put up on my stream, I did the same thing with my ex-girlfriend. And she found out that she had a family and a father that had been waiting to try to find her for her entire life. Everything she thought was 100% wrong. Basically, he says, you know, he didn't want to do it, but at my insistence, he did. I went in, I texted my dad, and we hung out. I went and texted my dad to see if we could hang out. Tried to just make it us. He was insistent that I would tell my mom and didn't really understand why he said that. But eventually, we ended up hanging out. And then I realized that I'm half of him, and I see we're more alike than I previously thought. He does this. He has his own business. He's very wise in this, you know. I want to say thank you for the tough love in the last session. I've gotten my hours up to 60 plus. Currently working. I don't want to get too deep into this. This brother's on his way to college. Brother's on his way to college, and he has a high GPA. Do you think about all the pitfalls that could befall a young man on his way to college with a big hole, with a big daddy-sized hole in him? Any of us know that athletes are targets for babies and all other kind of situations. I mean, we know the world we live in. Can you imagine how different this young man's life is going to be with that one act of connecting? What does it have to do with generosity? I believe most of us aren't generous because we got too much feminine energy in us. We don't have our father's masculine in us. And in order to get what we need, we got to fix us. Look, man, especially if you're in these quote unquote red pill spaces, you know what it is. And you can't expect that. You are better off seeking that out, figuring out, fixing what's going on. You'll be a better man for it. It will heal a lot of the hurt, pain, confusion. It will go, I won't say heal, it will go a long way to address the hurt, pain, and confusion. And ultimately, put you in a position to be able to think about things from a balanced point of view, to where this whole notion of generosity won't seem like a simp or somebody trying to hustle or get over. Yeah, but when I go to these events that I talked about, I tell you one thing I don't see a lot of, and I don't see a lot of black men. I don't see a lot of young black men out doing any of this stuff. That's an opportunity for you because you got knowledge. You got information to be able to do something about it. I'm not telling you to do anything I wouldn't tell my own son to do. I would not tell my own son to be ingenerous. I would give him the same advice I'm putting on these airwaves and on these videos. When I'm gone, these videos may still be floating around. So here's what I like. I like to see if you want to share your story with me about how becoming more generous has impacted your life. Do me a favor, hit me up. I like to hear the stories because honestly, you know, I can talk about it all day long, but I think Some of the more powerful things are from stuff that you guys have. Um, Somebody, okay. It's Jay says, that's one of the reasons I was upset with my dad. He wasn't there, and I noticed I'm not as masculine as him and my grandfather. I need you to listen to what I'm about to say, man. He wasn't there. Is that his fault? He wasn't there. I mean, we're in the quote unquote manosphere. You have to understand what goes on over here. Do you know his side of the story? Because here's the reality. How many times, especially if you've ever dated a woman who has children, you know how this plays out. You need to go get his side of the story and find out why he wasn't there. All you know is he wasn't there. Just like my ex-girlfriend, she said he wasn't there. And what she got from her family, her mother's side of the family, was a complete lie. This shit would make a great movie. Complete lie. And what she found out is she had a family, a huge family, with roots in roots in Jamaica. She realized she had people. When I talk about a huge family, she has a room in her father's house. He gave her cards and shit that had been remailed back to him for years. She never would have known if I hadn't pushed her to go find out. You need to find out what's going on with your father as a man. And until you can forgive your father and hold your mother accountable, and then forgive them both, because they're only human. Both of those people did the best they could at the time. Hindsight is 20/20. All kids want their parents to be perfect. And oftentimes it takes you having a child of your own to realize and look at your parents differently. They did the best they could. But the fact of the matter is they're here. Go get his side of the story. And I'm going to tell you, don't tell your mother you're going to talk to your father, especially if that was strained, because more often than not, women fear that the father's going to down talk them or what. Look, man, you're a grown man. You can have a relationship with your mother and a relationship with your father, either both or neither. Just a second. So I've said it before and I say it again. At the end of the day, you're over 21. You're responsible for you. Generosity. You need a generosity of spirit. A generous spirit makes a better man. That's really what it comes down to. A generous spirit makes a better man. You want to live a life of impact? You want to live a life of importance? You get to pick. How are you living your life? Look in your life. What does your social life look like? And I'm going to say, 5 minutes, I'm out of here. Generous men have active social lives. Is your life, do you not have, to say you don't have a social life is one thing. Most people don't have a social life because you don't have any choices. It's one thing to say, I don't have an active social life, but you get invited everywhere. It's another thing to not have a social life and nobody knows you exist. Thank you, Mr. Allen. I want you guys to have I want you to have the ability to have an active social life and have an ability to have an active romantic life. And then you pick. You pick. When I talk about live from life, get out in life. Tonight, I'm getting out. Especially in summertime, you should be on somebody's patio, at somebody's lounge. You should be out. There are all kind of things going on. Chamber meeting, this, that, meetups, out. Out. In Atlanta, I'm gonna show you how it's done. I'm gonna show you how we're gonna do it. And then I expect you guys to start doing it too. You want the world to be a better place? What do I say? When men are the best version of themselves, the world is a better place. When men look good, smell great, and are the best version of themselves, the world is a better place. Social life, romantic life. Hey man, I tell you, traveling is one thing single, but it's another thing with your lady friend. Going to Paris single is one thing. Going to Paris with a woman, you got to admit it's going to be different. My bucket list, I put ice hotel on there. I want to go to an ice hotel. I don't want to be in that motherfucker by myself. Put some things on your list that you want to do, man. And inevitably, going to a nice bed and breakfast ain't the same when you there by yourself. And when you develop a reputation for being a bold, generous, ambitious guy, when you develop a reputation for being the man you are, trust me, whether you want one or whether you want however many you want, you'll never really have to worry about having access to feminine, beautiful, cooperative companionship. You really won't. Last point. So the last thing is what you're waiting for. What are you waiting for? All right, let me make sure I read these super chats. Thanks for the content. Needed to hear that. Remind me of Black Avenger. What's up? Mr. G, truth and power being spoken. Julian Brown. Broke. January, man. Thank you for the message. I already answered when I think about dating forever. I don't. Got to send the Godfather their drink. Yeah, man. When I'm in Atlanta, man, please. If I'm in Atlanta, I will be getting there on the 8th through the 12th. So I will be taking one-on-one appointments outside of the MIT days. So if you are interested in getting your one-on-one appointment with me, as usual, you can send me an email, schedule your time. When I'm in your city, take advantage, man. Because I'm not just coming because I am coming to have a good time and to leave that mark. FBI, you ladies are asking about when am I going to do the ladies event. I'll be announcing the ladies event in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, the ladies event will be coming up. You asked about the ladies event and then the joint event. Here's the thing. I'm willing to put on events where they make sense. So, yeah, we just begun. The book is, I've actually got the first chapter of my book written. Busy time, getting it done. Loving life. Can't wait. You say you can't wait until you come up to New York City. Well, here's the thing. Don't wait. Let me just say that. Don't wait for me to come to your city. You need to come to the city where I am, because I'm not coming to everybody's city. I mean, let's just be real. I may be in your area, but the best I will do is be in your area. I'm in Atlanta. That's close enough to New York City. Get a plane. I'm coming from Oklahoma. Catch a flight, get an Airbnb, get an Uber. I mean, you working 60 plus hours a week. But if you wait for me to be in your backyard, you're missing opportunities. Yeah, you can't wait for that stuff. You cannot wait for that stuff. All right, guys, I am out of here. Till next time, peace.